Hi, and thanks for joining me today for this short video on yoga for back care. So this is perfect if you find that you're sitting a lot for your job or driving a lot. It's just a really nice way of looking after your spine. So gentle movements. We're not going to be doing anything too deep with back bends or forward bends, just starting to really loosen up and lubricate the spine. So to start with, we're going to come to lying on our backs and gently relaxing down onto the mat. So allowing your body to settle for a moment, just taking the feet slightly wider than hip distance apart and allowing the knees to fall in together. So let your arms fall out to the side, palms facing upwards. And take a moment here to deepen your breath. So just observing the flow of your breath in and out through your nose. And take a moment to feel the touch of your body against the mat. So feeling the shoulders relax back. Making any adjustments you need to get comfortable. Feeling a little lift of the lower back. That natural curve in the spine. And then feeling the lower spine and the back of the hips against the mat. Good. And from here we're going to gently hug our knees in towards the chest. Good. So as you gently pull the knees in towards the chest, do little circles, just starting to massage the lower back onto the mat. And then change the direction of the circles. Good. And then coming back to the center. So lowering the feet down, keep the feet hip distance, heels in towards the sitting bones. And take your arms out to the side, shoulder height, with the palms facing upwards. Again, connecting to your breath, taking a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, lower the knees over to the right side. Inhaling, coming up to the center. Exhaling over to the left side. Inhaling, coming up. Exhaling over to the right. You can turn your gaze to the opposite hand if you want to. Inhaling, coming up. Exhaling over to the left, looking to the right. Inhale, coming up. Just two more on each side with your breath. Just feeling into any spaces that might feel blocked or a little bit stuck. Being aware of any tension you might be holding. And then on the inhale, coming back up to the middle. So bring your knees in towards your chest. Bring your hands to the backs of your thighs. We're going to do some little rocks backwards and forwards on the mat. So here we're really trying to round the spine so we don't get that thudding of the lower back onto the mat. Good, last one. And then coming up, and we'll come forwards onto all fours. So bringing the wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and have the knees at hip distance apart. So we move into a gentle cat-cow. So on the inhale, curling the sitting bones up, allowing the tummy to drop, drawing the shoulder blades together and lifting the gaze. And as you exhale, tucking the tailbone under, lifting the chest back and allowing the head to drop, tucking chin to chest. Again, move with your breath. Feel the length of the spine from the tip of the tailbone right the way up to the top of the neck. And being aware of any tension you might be holding or any areas that feel stuck or blocked. Good, and then start to circle the hips. So really loosening into the lower back. And change the direction of the circles. If you're like me, you can feel funny little bits clicking and moving as you move. And then coming back to the center. So here we're going to keep the hips over the knees as we come down into puppy pose. And if you have tightness through the shoulders, you can take your hands a little bit wider than shoulder distance, or if there's pinching through the shoulders, just be mindful. So we walk the hands forwards and allow the chest to sink down towards the mat. So we come to rest either on the chin, the nose, or the forehead, whichever feels more comfortable. And hold it here and breathe. So really allowing the breath to flow right the way down to the base of the spine. Good. With each exhale, releasing tension and softening. Good. And then slowly coming back up to all fours. Good. And then walking the hands forwards, the hands length, tucking the toes under, stretch back into a downward dog. So here, keep the knees bent. So as we have that bend in the knees, it allows us to lengthen through the spine. And it's much more important to keep a healthy long spine than it is to have long, stretchy hamstrings. Good. So breathing into this as you push the mat away through the hands, curl the sitting bones up towards the ceiling, and then gently lift through the pelvic floor. Breathe the whole length of the spine again. If you want to work into the hamstrings as well, you can gently start to push the tops of the thighs back, but be mindful if you do this that the back doesn't start to round. So we're really looking for that length through the spine. Good. And then slowly walking the feet forwards as we come into Uttanasana. So this forward bend, just allowing the head to hang down. Take hold of the opposite elbows, have a little bend into your knees. Gently sway from side to side. Good. And then coming back to the center. So we're going to lift the hands onto the backs of the hips, lift into a flat back. So really pull the elbows back, tummy button back towards the spine. So holding this strong in the back body. And then slowly coming up to standing. And bring your arms down by your side in Tadasana. So standing in Tadasana with the feet hip distance apart and have your feet parallel. So bringing the arms down by the side to start with. On your inhale, sit back as if you were sitting into a chair and bring the arms out in front of you, so shoulder height. Then draw the head of the arm bones back. So we're pulling the top of the arm back in towards the shoulders and then gently pull the tummy button back and up. So we should feel some nice back muscles activating. You can hold it here or you can take the arms up. So there's a nice long line from the hips to the fingertips and follow that line with your gaze. And breathe. Good. On your inhale, coming up to standing, and bring your arms down by your side in Tadasana again. So we're going to do that same action again and holding it for 5 breaths. So inhaling, sit back to your chair, bring the arms out in front. Pull the head of the arm bones back in. Again, gently pulling the tummy button back and up, and then take the arms up if you want to and hold. Good, so this is nice and strong, helping to strengthen those back muscles. Good, inhaling, coming up to standing. Bring your arms down by your side in Tadasana. Good, so now we're going to step wide on the mat. So taking the feet out, about 2.5, 3 feet, you want to have roughly your ankles underneath your wrists. It's quite hard to see when you're standing on your mat. But we're going to start by turning the right toes out to 90 degrees, turning the left toes in very slightly, pressing into the feet as we pull up through the inner thighs. Then on the inhale, reaching forwards over that right leg. So we're keeping in line with this right leg, being mindful not to tip forwards on the mat, and then opening out into Trikonasana. So we're going for length through the spine here. Doesn't matter if the hand comes to the knee or down towards the foot, whichever feels right for you. And here you can take your gaze down to the front foot, or you can turn it up towards the top hand. Either way, we're keeping the back of the neck long, so tuck the chin very slightly. Good, nice deep breath in, coming up. Bring the arms down by your side and turn the toes to face the other direction. Good, so taking the arms up to shoulder height. Inhaling, reaching forwards over that left leg. And exhaling, opening out to Trikonasana. So again, play around with the gaze. If there's any pain in the neck, we keep the chin in line with the sternum. Otherwise, we can turn the gaze down or turn it up towards the top hand. Good. And then inhaling, coming back up. Bring the arms down by the side and step your feet together. Come back into Tadasana. Good. So we're going to take another wide step on the mat. This time taking the feet just a little bit wider. Again, turning the right toes out and bending the right knee. So we're looking to get this thigh parallel to the floor, but it doesn't matter if it doesn't go all the way down. See how you feel today. So taking the arms out to the side as we come into our warrior two. Inhaling, reaching across that right leg, and then bring the right elbow to the right knee. And we're going to take the left hand back and see if we can take hold of the right thigh. And then turn the gaze up towards the ceiling. If you can't quite get the thigh, you can place the back of the left hand onto the lower spine, gently pressing that hand into the back as you draw that left shoulder back. Good. And then inhaling, coming up. Turn the toes to face the other way. So left toes out to 90 degrees, right toes in slightly. And bending the left knee. Inhaling, reaching forwards. On the exhale, opening out and take the right arm back. See if you can take hold of the left thigh and turn the gaze up. So breathe into this. Wherever it feels a little bit stuck or a little bit tight, see if you can breathe into it. Good, and then releasing the bind, inhaling, coming up. Again, step, jump the feet together, come back into Tadasana. Good. So from here, we're going to come back down to the mat. As we come into our forearm plank. So we come down onto the forearms. We want the elbows underneath the shoulders. And we're going to step back into the plank, and we're just going to hold this for 10 breaths. So stepping back here, push back through the feet, keeping the hips nice and low in line with the heels. Pull the tummy button back towards the spine. And breathe. Good, 5 more breaths. 4 more. 3 more. Last 2 breaths. Good, last deep breath in and lower the knees down. Then we're going to come to lying on our tummies. So we're going to take a moment in a downward facing Shavasana, just resting the forehead onto the backs of the hands, allowing the spine to lengthen. You can give the hips a little wiggle from side to side if you want to. Good. We can even bend the knees and do little windscreen wipers. And then coming back to the center. So we bring the knees together, straighten the legs down the mat. We're going to come up onto the forearms. So again, bringing the elbows underneath the shoulders, palms of the hands facing down. So we're going to activate this, pointing the toes, pulling up through the kneecaps. Good. Lengthening the tailbone down towards the heels, and then gently pressing into the forearms, into the hands. Draw the shoulder blades together on the back and push the shoulder blades forwards. So we start to broaden across the collarbones. Lift your gaze. So we're taking the gaze here to the third eye space, that space between the eyebrows. Keep lengthening through the spine, so lifting through the crown of the head and lengthening the tailbone towards the heels. Good. Last deep breath in. And on the exhale, lowering back down to the mat. Again, give the hips a little shake. You can windscreen wiper the legs. And then bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Sit back into a child's pose. So we're bringing the knees and the feet together and extending the arms out in front. So we want a nice long line here, right the way through to the fingertips, lengthening through the spine. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, walk your hands over to the right side, so get a nice stretch through the left side. Good. Inhaling, come back to the center. Exhaling, take the hands over to the left side. Good. And on the inhale, coming back to the center of the mat. And then bring yourself up to sitting. Good. So we're going to come to sitting with the legs out in front. Sitting into Dandasana, our staff pose. So hands down by the side, sitting up nice and tall. Feel the back muscles support you as you sit up. Shoulder blades gently drawing into the back body. Good. And from here, we're going to take the legs to the left and place the ankle of the left leg into the sole of the right foot. Then bring the right hand behind you on the mat. Inhaling, take the left arm up. And as you exhale, twist to your right, placing the outside edge of the left hand onto the right knee. And you can continue a full spinal twist, turning the gaze over the right shoulder. If you want to, you can do a little counter twist, turning the gaze over towards the left knee. Good. On your inhale, so use that inhale to lift you back to the center and lengthen as we swap the legs over to the other side. So placing the ankle of the right foot into the arch of the left foot. Left hand behind you on the mat. Inhaling, take the right arm up. And on the exhale, twist around to the left side. So again, you can take the gaze into this full spinal twist over the left shoulder, or keeping the rib cage twisting around to the left, you can turn the gaze over towards the right knee. Good. So use that inhale to create space. Expand your body. The exhale, you twist a little bit deeper. And then using the inhale as you lengthen and come back to face forwards. Then extend your legs out in front of you on the mat. Good. So coming to the top of your mat, bring the arms out in front. And we're going to slowly, so using the tummy muscles, slowly rounding all the way down to the mat with control. And bringing the arms down by the side. Bring the feet in close towards the sitting bones. So the heels are in line with the sitting bones, hip distance apart, and have the palms of the hands facing down. So bring the shoulder blades in and down the back. So you allow the shoulders to drop down and the collarbones to broaden. So we can open through the chest. Feel down through the four corners of the feet. Gently pressing into the four corners of the feet. Lengthen the tailbone towards the heels, flattening the back to the mat. Then pressing into the feet as you inhale, lifting up, coming into your bridge pose. So find a height that feels comfortable for you. You can stay here, or you can walk the shoulders together underneath you, interlace the fingers, and extend the arms away. Whichever variation you're in, keep working on lengthening the tailbone towards the knees. Push down through the four corners of the feet. You can lift your toes back if it helps you to find that stability. Good. Last deep breath in. And on the exhale, releasing the bind and slowly roll down one vertebra at a time. Let the knees fall in together. Take your arms out to the side with the palms facing up and relax. Good. So bringing the feet and the knees hip distance. We're going to cross the right ankle over the left knee and lifting the left leg. We're going to take hold of the back of the left thigh. So gently pulling that left knee in towards the chest and using the right elbow to push the right knee away. Flex the right foot, especially if you have any funny knee problems going on. Keeping that foot flexed protects the knee joint. So with the inhale, lengthening the spine. And with the exhale, drawing the knee in a little bit closer. So breathing into this for 2 more breaths. Good, and then releasing. Lower the left foot down. So changing the cross of the legs over. Again, flexing that left foot so we stabilize the left knee. Lift up the right leg. So take the fingers and interlace them behind the right leg. And then gently drawing that right knee in towards the chest, pushing the left leg away with the left elbow. Here, notice if there's any tension through the shoulders and the face, relax. Use the breath and that exhalation to release any tension from the stretch. Two more breaths. And then releasing down. Good. Again, gently hug the knees in towards the chest. Just placing one hand onto each knee and circle the knees wide. So moving in opposite directions. Good, and change the direction of your circles. And then coming back to the center, so gently rocking yourself up to sitting. And that's your short little video for back care. So practiced regularly, this can really just help with keeping the spine healthy and lubricated. And I hope that was helpful. Thank you. Enjoy your day. Namaste.